to all the guys, gals, and non binary pals. So I did start reading Dragon Ball. I read the first one I had, which was the Viz Media's 3 in 1 copy. So it was volumes 1, 2, and 3. Um, Started reading that. In the future, I will probably, just to keep that pace, because I feel good about it, I'll do 3 volumes at a time. Um, so yeah, want to talk? I'll start talking about it. We got volume one, starting the whole thing. Volume one called The Monkey King. Chapter one called Bloomers and the Monkey King. The very first words we have of Dragon Ball the manga are: long, long ago, in a deep, dark forest far from civilization, beyond a towering range of. Well, you get the idea. It's the kind of place a story like this has to begin. And on that page, we see Goku walking on top of a rolling log and saying hi to a couple monkeys. This is the very first thing you see of the manga Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball. So it starts with Goku. He's living alone in the forest, living his life, hunting and cooking different animals, chopping up logs, and he has the Dragon Ball with him that he refers to as Grandpa. Um, Next person we meet is Bulma. She is using her Dragon Ball radar because she is actually the one originally looking for the Dragon Balls. Um, and of course, they eventually run into each other. So first, Goku does not even know what a girl is. So he doesn't quite know what to make of her. Um, Not even for the reasons that would be biologically obvious. It's because she doesn't have a tail. He doesn't know what to make of her. Um, anyway, so Bulma figures out with her radar and going with Goku that he has the Dragon Ball she's looking for. So first, she tries to trick him into it, but as he said, it's his grandpa. Um, so through a little bit of a back and forth, where again she keeps trying to trick Goku because he is kind of, to her, just a kid. She eventually decides it's like just easier if you come along the journey with me. So they set out that way. In the early kind of chapters, early panels of the story, the really only adversaries they run into are more animal based, like one off. I mean, the very first problem they run into together is Bulma gets abducted by a large talking pterodactyl. But Goku is uh, pretty quick to just uh, take care of that. So it's just simple one-off adversaries that they run into at first. That is until a couple chapters later, they kind of meet their first like one that kind of has a plot point in the story. And he's a demon that has been taking young girls from the village that they stopped in at, because there's a Dragon Ball in town. So this demon is coming and taking young girls, and there's one that he's coming to pick up that day. So they dress Goku up as a little girl to trick the demon. And of course, it doesn't go very well. Goku doesn't know how to act like a girl, so it immediately turns into a fight. But the demon keeps running away. Long story short, this is how we meet Oolong, the pig, the one that kind of just from the Dragon Ball Z days that I know. Being a Toonami kid, he's kind of just hanging out the house. There's the Kame House crew, and then the fighters. He's part of the house crew. But no, he is using his transformation abilities to kind of look like a demon to take these young girls as his brides. But it kind of turns out that when he does take them, he gives them like a rich, luxurious life, and he's actually kind of sick of them because they're all spoiled. But because he kept messing with them and kept trying to get one over on them, he gets beaten up and has to come along with Bulma and Goku. And Bulma eventually kind of tricks him into eating a candy that is actually like a kind of poison. What it does is it gives him explosive diarrhea when she whistles a certain way. Um, so he's kind of stuck with them because every time he tries to run, she just does a I can't whistle. Sorry. So she does the whistle, uh, and so he kind of gets stuck with them. The next person we meet, again, another character that I recognized from the Z Toonami days is Yamcha. I remember Yamcha kind of being a backup fighter, like a real backup fighter. But when we meet him in this story, he's actually um, an antagonist. He's kind of a desert bandit. He's hanging out with Poir out in the desert, just looking for people to rob and raid. He actually, from when you see his hideout, he's done pretty well at this, actually. Um, all thanks to his wolf fang technique. Um, so he actually meets Goku, and because Goku is so hungry, it's actually a fight more to the side of Yamcha. Um, but he gets quickly distracted because Bulma wakes up from a nap she was taking, and turns out Yamcha at this point is deathly shy when it comes to girls. So he beats a hasty retreat after seeing her, but he does make a few more attempts at robbing them, but it always comically ends with him somehow running into Bulma and becoming super nervous and having to run away. And he's kind of the first one where it's like he's the repeat adversary in the story in their hunt for the Dragon Balls, which they are getting at a pretty good clip at this point in the story, until they have to go to Fry Pan Mountain. Um, Fry Pan Mountain is a mountain that is on fire, famously. Um, and it's ruled over by Yu Mao, which is the Ox King. The Ox King, and to what no one knows, also his daughter. His daughter is Chi Chi, who Yamcha is the first to meet. And he actually, because she's a little girl, not as nervous, and he has no problem just kind of knocking her down and going on his way. But they meet the Ox King, and the mountain's on fire, and they try to think of a way because there's a Dragon Ball up there. Obviously, they never go anywhere without a reason to get a Dragon Ball. And before they can even like make an attempt, like before Goku can even use Kintoan to try to fly up there, the Ox King himself appears and starts yelling at them. Um, and he's figuring out who they are, yelling, doing big I'm kind of a boss speech when he finds out that Goku um, had previously met the turtle hermit, Muten Roshi, Master Roshi. Um, and that is actually where Volume 1 ends. It's where the crew, and specifically Goku, have met the Ox King, and the Ox King is basically like doing like, "What, you met Master Roshi?" Doing that type of thing. Um, so that is where Volume 1 ends. So in the back there of manga, you often find the author's note. So Akira Toriyama himself said of Volume 1, The setting of Dragon Ball has a sort of Chinese feel to it, but it's not necessarily China. Exactly where it takes place is uncertain. The overall story is very simple, but I'd like to keep making up more details and illustrations as I go along. This way, I can draw anything I want and enjoy the tension and excitement of figuring out what I'll draw next. Uh, and yeah, that kind of is what you kind of hoped for uh, with Akira Toriyama. I mean, with the mix of human and animals and dinosaurs, really, um, you met him meeting all these like creative animals and characters, and this is actually Dragon Ball coming after he had already had a run of his series Doctor Slump, so he already had his style. It seemed pretty set down uh, in drawing this, um, and yeah, it's like the mountains, buildings, and backgrounds. That's kind of where you get the Chinese feel. Other than the fact that it's pretty obvious, like Dragon Ball starts out as basically the Monkey King story of Chinese legend is Goku just going off on his own adventure in Toriyama style this time. So that's volume one. Um, Good start to the story. Volume two is Wish Upon a Dragon. So Goku still at Fry Pan Mountain, like still with the Ox King. Um, he they Chi Chi and Yamcha do eventually make it to the mountain, um, and it's in this volume, so it's like right after he learns the Ox King learns that Goku has met Master Roshi, Mutan Roshi. They don't call him Master Roshi in the manga, at least not yet. They also find out that his grandfather was a devotee to Master Roshi, and the Ox King were as well. They were like they trained together under Master Roshi. So they end up they're not fighting the Ox King is what it gets to. They're not fighting him. The big issue is that fire on the mountain had not always been there. Their house is actually still at the top of the mountain. So they ask if Goku and they send Chi Chi with him could fly in Kiton to go to Master Roshi because he has the Basho Sen, which is a giant fan that they think if they swing it, they'll be able to put out the fire and be able to get back to the house where he has the Dragon Ball. The Ox King has the Dragon Ball in his treasure room. So they go off there. Goku unfortunately continues a pattern he had in Volume One of figuring out who's a female by patting their crotches. Uh, so he figures out, okay, Chi Chi, you're a girl. So they reach Master Roshi's island home, and he's pretty sure that he does not have the fan anymore because he spilled some soup on it and threw it away. But he agrees to come back and help them put out the fire. So he does that, and this is the very first time we see the Kamehameha happen. He uses the Kamehameha to put out the fire. Unfortunately, it also destroys the entire mountain and house. Um, so you gotta take the good with the bad with that. Um, so they do get the Dragon Ball. Unfortunately, they kind of just pass over what the Ox King and Chi Chi plan to do because the Bulma Goku Oolong crew just decides like, thanks, we got it. We're moving on. So they do that, and after, of course, Goku makes his first attempt at a Kamehameha after seeing Master Roshi do it, and he does a small one successfully, actually damaging their car in the process. So they have a damaged car. They get a new kind of get some new transport, and they head to this town. Now, at this point, because her clothes got destroyed through many adventures, Bulma is in a bunny outfit, and everyone in this new town is afraid of her. Turns out because there is the rabbit mob that is terrorizing this town. So they all think she's involved with it. Uh, she's not. So after she changes, everyone goes right back to normal, and they're not getting anything. Fortunately, she got capsules for free, and I think the crew got their gas for free. So they're all pretty psyched about that. Um, so anyway, some of the actual rabbit mob members show up. Goku beats them up. The boss shows up. He's an actual rabbit, and he has an ability to turn people into carrots, which he does to Bulma. Um, so Goku finds a way, beats him up, forces him to turn Bulma back, and then he uses his extending pole. They make a joke at the end of this specific chapter that he puts them up on the moon for the Japanese story of the rabbit pounding the rice cakes. Um, it is in this volume that the crew starts having trouble with Pilaf. So at this point, they just have they're so close to finishing their journey, but Pilaf is also looking for the Dragon Balls. So he ends up actually being able to knock their car out of commission and steal them with his hench people. Um, so they do have to go and fight him, and this is actually where they start getting into some trouble. They actually end up getting captured, and Pilaf ends up with all the Dragon Balls. Um, the most that the crew can do while they are imprisoned is blow a small hole through the wall. And it is at the same time that Pilaf is about to make his wish, and the dragon shows up for the very first time. So Shenlong, the dragon shows up, and Pilaf is about to make his wish, but Oolong and Poir are able. They are the only ones they can transform into small animals and get out of the walls to go to it. And Pilaf makes a on the fly decision that the only way to make sure that Pilaf can't have his wishes, he interrupts him and makes his own wish. His wish being he wants a pair of panties from a hot girl. Um, so the dragon grants that wish, and then, as we know from the Dragon Balls, is once the wish is made, they will rise up into the sky and scatter across the earth, and then they won't turn into Dragon Balls again for 1 year. So they're just going to be rocks. The radar isn't going to help at all. Um, so not great. So Pilaf decides to punish the crew by putting them in basically a metal box that will heat up in the sun. But it's nighttime when they're in there, and Goku sees the full moon for the first time, where he transforms into the giant ape. Again, so something we know from Z, turning into a giant ape, and he destroys first the prison, but then the Pilaf's entire castle. Pilaf and his hench people do escape, but he's destroying everything. The only thing that the Bulma and the crew, because Yamcha is with them, can figure out what to do is Yamcha remembers that his tail is a weakness, so they get his tail, and Poir turns into a pair of scissors, and they cut off his tail, and he slowly returns into being a little boy. He wakes up. He doesn't remember anything, so he goes on. They To finish up the volume, they're going to go their separate ways. Yamcha and Bulma have actually decided to start dating, so they actually kind of both got their wish in the end. But they're going to go back to Bulma City to live their lives. Goku decides he's going to go ask Muten Roshi to train him. So that is the end of Volume 2. So, again, some notes from Akira Toriyama sensei himself. Happy New Year! I made my debut as a manga artist on my 23rd New Year, and now, as I write this, I'm facing my 30th. I guess somehow I made it as a manga artist. This is a tough business. If you've got work to do, you are so busy that there's no time to sleep. If you don't have any work, then you don't have anything to do but sleep. I don't like to be too busy, but I also don't like to be in a bind. So I try to keep working hard. Inspiring words from Akira Toriyama. Um, which brings us to Volume 3. So Goku has gone to Muten Roshi's island home, and before he is allowed to start training, he is given a task. He has to bring a bring a hot woman to Muten Roshi. So he tries this a few times, not really succeeding. Then a new character joins them, Kurilan, or as again the Toonami kids with us would know, Krillin. Kurilan joins them, bringing an offering to Master Roshi of dirty magazines. Um, so he's given the same task. They go out together um, and immediately run into another new character that's going to be in the story, Lunch. She has the strange tick where when she sneezes, her personality completely flips. She can either be a very rambunctious, violent blonde, or a black-haired, demure, um, classic beauty. Beauty in both senses, but one is violent, one is very calm. So she goes back to Muten Roshi's house, and she just decides, for some reason, the cops are after me, so I am going to chill here. But Master Roshi decides he's going to move his house so that they can go train. He's going to train Goku and Kuda because they passed the test. They got an attractive woman to come to Muten Roshi's house. So they go to an island and he begins their training. Their training is to deliver milk, plow a field by hand, work construction, and go swimming. And they do this. He has the plan for them to do this for 8 months, all while wearing um, their big turtle shells on their back, and they get better and better and better as they go. So he makes the decision that they should take part as fighters in the Tenkaichi uh, Kodaku, the strongest under the heaven. And holy crap, I feel like I just mispronounced that, but we're rolling on. Strongest under the heavens. Um, so they are obviously they're like kids here, even though Goku in Volume 1 admit he's like 14. But they look like kids. Um, so they're fighting, and this is supposed to be the strongest under the heaven. There's tons of kind of fighters there, but you can tell from the art that Toriyama, he took a lot of inspiration from like the world of sport and like movies and stuff. So there's little Easter eggs you can find there, and then also just like kind of like funny tropes in fighting, like kind of they're supposed to be like a Russian style wrestler. They're doing that. Um, but Goku was always strong, but Krillin, they both can't believe how strong they became under their training, because they are just beating everyone up. Especially even Krillin, where he meets some of the other people from the previous like temple he had trained at, which is why he always has a shaved heads with the marks on his forehead. He meets up them, and Goku had previously tried to tell him, "It's like, hey, take it easy. on these guys, but then he saw how they were treating Krillin, so he's like, no, just go for it, just go for it. That it'll be good. Um, so they go through the preliminaries, and they just beat everyone up. So they get into the finals, and Krillin is the first to fight in a final match, and he is going up against a character named Bacterian, because this man is rank. He has every fly that Toriyama thought he could draw hanging around him. His story being that he's both super big, super fat, super smelly. So no one wants to fight him. Um, so it's a bad thing. He uses attacks like bad breath, farts, itching his crotch, and then trying to like bring his hand up to your face. But then, in a really funny way to be in the fight, Goku reminds Krillin that he does not have a nose, so he can't smell anything. Um, so then Krillin fights back by farting at Bacterian. And as the announcer says, looks like Bacterian can dish it out, but can't take it. So Volume 3 ends with Krillin, with a fart, defeating his first opponent in the finals of the Strongest Under the Heaven tournament. Um, I really don't have anything to say about the art style, because it's Akira Toriyama. He already had the successful Doctor Slump series. He knew his style. He knew what he was going to do, and obviously, it has stood up to the test of time. Um, and and to anyone who hasn't read the manga but has seen the show, it's like that. That is the art style. It's a just transfer of the art style. They were very faithful to that. Um, I've like always just figured this out from other series, but one reason I do enjoy, now I enjoy anime series, and again, I grew up watching these things on Toonami, and I still watch them to this day. Is you can just get through so much of the story faster reading this. I had previously read the Naruto series, and I know from like my friends who watched it and how popular it was at the time. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, it took a while to read it. It took me it took me 5 months at a kind of slow pace to just read through all of Naruto instead of taking that time to watch it. Um, so I did enjoy that. Not saying that the anime is bad, because I have seen episodes of it, and yeah, it's awesome to watch everything in motion. Um, yeah, so I getting back to Dragon Ball, I really don't have anything to say about the art style or anything, because Akira Toriyama, he's locked in. This is my style. This is my story. This is how I'm going to do it. And I just cannot wait to continue on reading this series, because everything so far has been doing this thing. It's like, oh, I remember that. I know this character from Z, or oh, I recognize this thing. So it's very fun to see where it actually all started. So thanks for sticking with me. Um, I'll see you all next time.